We are Gathering of the Geeks, podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one where Chris is distracted. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet. I'm joined by the Ted Lasso of my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing?
Stellar. How are you doing?
See, you're double distracted. At first it was just going to be the Deadpool trailer, but now I've been told that there's a dog in the room. It's just your mind's all over the place tonight.
Yes, the dog is right now. She's peacefully on my lap, but I know this won't last.
I'm hoping it won't.
Well, she's not allowed in this room normally, and she likes to explore. But as I'm the only one home, it's she doesn't want to sit outside the door either, so I'm kind of stuck with
Yeah,
her.
understandable.
So, anyway,
Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, folks. Just search Gathering of the Geeks, and you will find us right there. Aaron, how's it going tomorrow? Chris, yes, the Super Bowl is on. We're not watching it, of course, but there are things from the Super Bowl that maybe we want to talk about. So we could talk about that before our reads and watches. We could talk about it after our reads and watches. How would you like to handle it?
I'm still processing some of it, so I think we'll do that after.
That's fair.
But you did see the Twisters trailer, right? Because I do want to talk about that.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of them so far.
Okay, the only one I didn't see was the Planet of the Apes one yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I've seen a clip of it. But we'll get to it that one. Clip of a trailer.
That's right. Clip of a 30-second trailer that doesn't tell you much.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, I don't have anything fancy to open the show with as well, Chris. So why don't we just get into what you got up to this week?
That works for me. As far as comics go, it was a really light week for me. I just didn't have time. The only thing I read was the newest issue of Batman, which is the start of Joker Year One. I'm really mixed on this book. I was very excited for it. I was anticipating it, and then I started reading it, and I don't even understand what it's for. And I understand. Right. I know it's the first issue, and that's fine, but they throw a lot at us immediately. There's two different timelines. We don't know where it falls in the continuity of the grand scheme of things, because you have the three Jokers mentioned twice and then never heard of again. And even when they're mentioned, it's not the way we know of them from the actual Three Jokers book.
Right.
This is different. And there's also that weird line how the pill is the same material as the Red Hood helmet. And I kept reading, like, am I missing something? What's going on here?
Yeah, I remember when I read that issue too, I was a tad confused. Mostly with the stuff that happens not at the present day, I guess. So the stuff that happens right after Joker falls into the chemicals and he gets out and does this thing. That stuff was more confusing to me than the present day stuff.
Yeah, the present day stuff, I'm pretty cool with. You could tell, okay, it's in the future, things are different. Barbara's commissioner. I'm fine with that. It's the past stuff that is really throwing me for a loop here. I don't understand. And they do state it takes place after 0 year, which gives you some kind of, it gives you an idea of when it is, but it's still throwing continuity things in there that I don't get. And like I guess seeing the Joker kind of find himself in a way is not what I expected, but I probably should have, considering it's year one.
Right.
I also don't like the art in the past.
I would agree with that as well.
You know, if you're going to do timelines, you should have the same quality of artist for both timelines. I'm not knocking the other, like saying, oh, it's burning my eyes or anything, but
it hurts.
No. There's just a really big contrast in the visuals. One, is vastly different looking. And Batman himself looks a lot like Ben Affleck's Batman. Whereas you look at the past timeline, he's very cartoony looking. And it's just really weird to me.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought that I hadn't thought about. I also am not a fan of the art, but I didn't think about it in the way that the styles are so different that it feels like they're not in the same universe.
Right.
Like
That's what I'm talking
like
about.
you're
The
saying,
style.
it doesn't feel like the same Batman. So that's an interesting thought that I hadn't thought of. And for me, for the present day stuff, one of my favorite artists is Andrea Sorrentino.
Mhm.
So, and I love the way they draw Batman.
Yes.
I love the way they draw any kind of thing like that. So and the present day stuff isn't the main focal point of the book. And I almost wanted it to be more of a 50-50 split, but it felt like that past the stuff in the past had more of the more weight of the book, and I just wish it didn't. And maybe it's because I didn't enjoy it as much, and I just enjoyed seeing more of the Sorrentino art. But yeah, I didn't like the split between the two, and I didn't when I read that first issue initially, I just didn't understand it as much. I will say that the more you read of the story, the clearer the past stuff becomes.
Okay,
But
that
yeah,
makes me
right.
feel better.
Yeah.
Because I was like, did I miss something? I don't know. Other than the confusion, I think it's interesting. And also, I did have to get over the idea that he's not just a lunatic killer from the start, because typically that's what we've been told. Like as soon as he drops into the acid or the chemicals, he comes out ready for murder. Like that is the only thing on his mind. Let's start murdering, and that's not the case here. So it's a little different.
Yeah, well, we got that's 142. We got 143 next week, and 144 right after that. So, like I said, the more you read, the more it becomes clear, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on the style back and forth as well, and even the story. I felt like in the first issue, the story of the present day stuff wasn't like as much as confusing as that the stuff in the past was. I found the stuff in the present day stuff, the story, anyways, it wasn't fleshed out as much as I thought it was going to be as well. It wasn't as confusing, I felt like, but it just like there wasn't much to it.
I really don't think anything happens in the present day of it. I think it's just
exactly.
the Joker was being held, he escapes, and that's really all. Hey Joe, I think that's really all there is to the book, and I don't know. I guess because they're putting them out weekly, they're going to be this way. So I'm looking forward to more of it. I'm not like saying I'm not going to read any of it. Like I'm not done with it. I just not loving this opening issue. That's all.
Well, I would say that I think both of us had higher expectations, or we were just excited for this as well. The format I think was interesting to me. 1 week right after another, 3 issues, and that's it. Kind of just like a mini arc in the middle of things. So that'll be kind of cool to see how it plays out over the next couple of weeks, and how it just bleeds into the Bat story going forward as well. Because I think I've read from the solicits for 145 is Zuranar's not going anywhere, Failsafe isn't going anywhere. So this Joker story is kind of just a one-off. Take a break from that story and continue with the rest of the stuff. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how it shakes out over the next 2 issues after this.
Yeah, I'm still in, and I'm curious to see where it picks back up with. Like what do you do after this, depending how it goes. So we'll see.
What did you read you read this week?
Yeah, I didn't really have time. Well, that, and I did read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I guess that was the bulk of it. I mean, I read 8 issues, so to me that was a lot of reading.
That's enough sometimes.
Yeah, 8 issues in a week is a lot, plus Batman. So I really loved Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, though. I thought that was a really great time. Start to finish, it gets better with every issue. Also, not what I expected, because like you and I had talked about it before, I didn't know much about this book. I kind of just thought it was Supergirl doing Supergirl stuff. I kept hearing it was different and it had this and that, and but I didn't really know what that meant. So after reading it, I'm a pretty big fan of it now. I'm really a lot more excited for the movie, and also just curious how they're going to adapt it.
Yeah,
if they even do.
That was my question or my thought as soon as you read it. I was wondering how you thought that would be, because it's it could be a huge movie. It could also almost be too big, I think. Like it basically spends its entirety of the story in space on different planets in every single issue. The even the setting on these planets are not small. Like there's some big areas. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how they do it. I wonder if they just take the story idea of it and they change it from the planet hopping space adventure. But again, all of those things that are maybe tough to adapt into a movie are what make the book so good. So I think that's why it'll be difficult to adapt it. But I'm glad you liked it because I think it's an incredible book. And I, much like you, I didn't know much about the story when I started reading it. I didn't know much about Kara when I started reading it. I barely knew anything about Supergirl. I just thought Supergirl was a female Superman. I thought they were exactly the same kind of character, and I expected a Supergirl story to be her being, saving cats from trees. Very simple stuff. And I guess maybe at the time I wasn't as educated about Tom King as well, and who they are as a writer, and understanding who Tom King is and how Tom King writes, you can understand Women of Tomorrow a lot better. And you'd have to kind of be in a mindset to read it as well. It's obviously Tom King likes his words, and he thinks he's a very smart person, and he writes like that in his dialogue and in his story and everything, which I love most of the time. But he's a very particular writer, and The Women of Tomorrow is a very particular book, I think, as well. It's not a book for everyone. It's not I don't even know if this is a book for every Supergirl fan. I don't really know, but I'm glad you liked it because I love it. And I'm very interested to see how they make this into some kind of movie.
Yes, I am too. Whatever they do, I almost wonder if it was better, maybe better as an animated film, but we'll see. I'm very excited to see who they cast as Ruth also. And after, it's funny, we talked about this on the DC Unlimited podcast the other night, but after we talked about it, I started doing some digging, and I think I was completely wrong about the ending. I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it.
Yeah.
But I think I was completely off about it. So
yeah, I think what happened was I listened to your show today actually, and I think you messaged me that night asking me a final question about it, and I wondered if you had finished talking about it, and I think you did by the time you had asked me.
Yeah, I think I just missed that.
Yeah.
I saw what I wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not the one who's confused apparently because there's a bunch of articles about it also.
Yep, 100%.
I pinned Aaron's comment here for a second. I wanted to ask, have you ever read Punisher, Max?
No, is that's the one from whatchamacallit and whatchamacallit? Yeah, Garth Ennis. That's the one I want to read.
Okay,
any Punisher and any of the Max titles, that's what I want to read.
That's why it's on my list too. How far are you into it, Aaron, or have you read it before? Joe says, I just finished reading Borderline and also started the slot. I'll read Silver Surfer. That's some good stuff. The Silver Surfer stuff. I like Dan Slott a lot. I know he's kind of iffy with people as far as like on people's shows, but I think he does some good stuff. I haven't heard of Borderline though. I'm a little behind on the independent stuff at the moment. I didn't even get to Beneath the Trees this week, which I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, it was an interesting one too.
I feel if I recovered from the trailer, yeah, we'll get to it.
I'll let you know in about 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'll get to it. So Supergirl was and Batman were my reads of the week. One nice. I like.
Yeah, so I read. I read Beneath the Trees as well. Very interesting issue, and we get some, interesting revelations. We get some things that didn't happen that you would expect to happen in this issue. So it's a very interesting issue. I won't ruin it for you, Chris, because you will read it, and I think you will still enjoy it. But it's got some interesting, it's got some interesting things in it. Other thing I read this week was Ultimate Black Panther from Marvel, which came out this week, which I enjoyed a lot more than Ultimate Spider-Man. One thing being that it has Black Panther in it. He is Black Panther, and he wears the suit, and I'm very comfortable with that.
It's Black Panther things.
Exactly. So it made me feel much more comfortable as a non-Marvel fan. I know very little about Marvel. I know very, very little about the Black Panther character, aside from what I've seen in the movies. So I want to try and read the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Panther run that came out a couple years ago, but I really don't know anything about the character. So, even seeing his father, Shuri, what's the Okoye, seeing those, seeing names that I know from the movies was fun. And then the story, having the Moon Knight character having something to do with the Black Panther character is a very interesting thing. I think it's going to be pretty cool going forward, how that relates, because it's not hit us over the head with Moon Knight stuff, but it's just an interesting idea that Ra, Khonshu, Moon Knight have something to do with the Wakandan people, which is pretty cool. So very much enjoyed Ultimate Black Panther, having not enjoyed Ultimate Spider-Man.
I've heard Ultimate Black Panther is a lot like MCU Black Panther, so it's an easy transition.
Yeah, that helps for me.
Yeah, it's on my list. I do want to read it. Especially, I'm very curious about the Moon Knight connection.
Yeah.
I kind of like that guy. So.
Yeah. He's kind of an okay guy in your book.
Kind of cool, and I do love Khonshu.
My final read of the week was The One Hand, #1 from Image Comics, written by Ram V. One of the cool things about this book that I didn't realize until after reading it is that there's another comic in the same timeline from the opposite side of things, written by Dan Waters. So The One Hand is about a retired cop, and then the book on the other side is called The Six Fingers, which is on the side of the killer in the story.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's very interesting, and I didn't know that until the very end of the book, where it's got a preview page for the Six Fingers, which is the other story. I think comes out next week or the week after. Anyways, it's based in the year 2783. It's very Blade Runner-esque. It's just about a cop who's on his retired day, and a killer that he thought he had caught twice before, and both of those were wrong, is started killing again. So it's just a straight up kind of a crime noir mystery story based in the future, which is great. I had a great time with it, really enjoyed it. I think I've said it a couple of times that the crime type of story, a crime noir detective story, are some of my favorite comic books. Mostly from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. But I love the story. I like sci-fi. I love Blade Runner. So that is interesting. But then the other comic that is in line on the opposite side of things that comes out, I think that's an interesting idea that I don't know if I've seen before.
I don't think we've seen something like that.
Yeah, two comics in the same storyline from either side of the protagonist and antagonist side of the story. So, yeah, I checked that one out for sure. If anybody is into sci-fi crime stuff, had a great time at #1. So, good for you, Chris.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, that's it for my reads this week. What about your watches, Chris? Did you watch anything this week?
I did watch a few things. I have to get the letterbox out though, because I can't remember right now, other than the main one. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong list. No. I watched Anyone But You. I went and saw that.
Oh, that's the
rom-com with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell.
Right.
I checked that out. I thought that was fun. It's one of the most by-the-numbers rom-coms that I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
It really just ticks every box. Like, if you really think rom-com, it has everything you'd expect, including a grand gesture for no reason. like an over-the-top kind of thing. It has that. It really is by the numbers, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I think it's entertaining enough. It's not a great showcase of either one of the main lead's talents.
Wow.
Although I think Glenn Powell is a lot more charismatic than I thought he was from Top Gun. Because on Top Gun he was pretty good, but here I think he's really, I don't know, he's just very charismatic. I like him. I'd like to see him do some other stuff in bigger movies. He's in Twisters, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's right. That surprises me, by the way, that you say it's kind of by the numbers, because from the trailers it seems like it's a little bit different.
No.
than most. Yeah, it's
You,
interesting.
you can call it play-by-play as you're watching it. Again, not
Fair
a
enough.
bad thing. It just be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some laps, which is good, so that's cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think it's less than 2 hours, which is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think more and more we've talked about it. These under 2 hour films are necessary, and
They
not
are
everything
necessary.
needs to be 3 hours long. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't need a 3 hour rom com. So
No.
but it was a good time. The main dish for me this week though was Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh yes.
Yes, Lisa Frankenstein was this week. That is something I remember when it was announced. I thought, okay, that sounds cool. Then the first trailer came out, and if I could have bought a ticket at that point, I would have. That was just instant. I need this, and so
Mm-hmm.
seeing it Thursday or no, it's not Friday. It was a pretty good time. I think that it's not exactly as advertised though. So from trailers, it seems like it's really like a Frankenstein story, but it's not. It's more like like a wicked Edward Scissorhands is what I would compare it. And it's very Tim Burton-esque. I would say this is more Tim Burton than his last 5 movies.
Really?
Which works for me, but your mileage may vary on that one. It depends how much you like Tim Burton stuff.
Well, you love Tim Burton stuff.
Oh yeah, for me it's fantastic. I was all in on it. I was eating it up from the opening to the ending. I was happy. Catherine Newton, I think I like Catherine anyway, and anything I've seen her, I think she's great. But this is one of her first like full upfront roles, and she's fantastic.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she was really great in it. I didn't realize the Frankenstein character is one of the twins from Big Daddy.
Oh, Cole or the other Sprouse?
Cole Sprouse. Yeah, that's the name, Cole Sprouse.
Yeah.
He's all grown up. So
Yeah.
if you remember in that movie, he wants to be called Frankenstein. In Big Daddy,
That's right.
Call me Frankenstein. Well, he's Frankenstein. that was a kind of a fun tie. He also looks like a character from a Tim Burton movie. Have you ever seen The Corpse Bride?
Oh yeah.
He looks like Victor in the makeup and stuff. So there's definitely an influence there. It's also very 80s, which I appreciate a lot. There's a really cool cover of the song I Can See Clearly Now, which I don't like the original very much, but this new one is pretty cool. So at least Frankenstein gets a positive review from me. Albeit a little bit distracted because I have to watch the dog. But
yeah. That's funny about the Catherine Newton thing, because I know she was one of your picks, or your pick out of the two of her and Millie Alcock for Karen, Women of Tomorrow.
Yeah, and now I wish she would have gotten even more after seeing this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And after reading Women of Tomorrow, because after reading Women of Tomorrow, I especially don't like Millie Alcock. But here we are. I don't think Lisa Frankenstein's for everybody though. Mm-hmm. It is a very weird movie. It's one of those you have to accept what it is and the reality that it presents you. Don't expect logic, and you're good.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago we were talking, or it was our looking ahead to 2024 movies, I think, and two of yours was Lisa Frankenstein, and the other one was Abigail.
Yes.
Abigail or Annabelle, and you sent me both those trailers at the same time, and I could tell from Lisa Frankenstein from the trailer that was not for me. Like this movie just wasn't it. So yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't. Isn't like I don't know. Did you see Jennifer's Body?
I did.
Diablo Cody's other. Did you like that one?
No. I don't think I did. It's been a while. It's in the same universe as this, which is interesting. But I don't. I think I need to rewatch it because I really don't remember anything about it other than the lighter thing. She like burns her tongue or something. That's really all I remember. So I think it's time to rewatch it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I always think I'm going to watch it, and I should watch it. But like I feel like Diablo Cody, the writer of that and of Lisa Frankenstein of Juno, just they're not for everyone either. The type
No.
of movies that they make are very specific, and
They are.
they're just for a certain group of people, and I just happen not to be one of those people.
Well, it's also Zelda Williams' directorial debut, and I think that was pretty cool.
Okay, who's that?
Robin Williams' daughter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, I want to see more of what she can do. I actually would love to see more of the Universal monsters in this 80s kind of lens. I think you could do some more fun stuff with them with these two writing and directing.
Like the goofy kind of nature of the character?
Yeah, but there is a goofy aspect to this, but some of the stuff is very dark. Like the trailer doesn't show the dark parts of it, but it gets pretty dark. So I think you have some fun with it. Like I believe a werewolf story would be pretty fun. I'd be into that. Maybe you could use the other Sprouse brother.
Now we're talking.
Yes. Joe was watching The Mayor of Easttown, Chernobyl, and Uncharted for the older stuff, and watched The Marvels and True Detective for more recent stuff. That is a varied list.
Yeah, that's quite the week. Holy cow!
I like The Marvels. I like True Detective. I saw some of Mayor of Easttown. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Chernobyl?
Yeah, Chernobyl's incredible.
I always hear that. Isn't Barry Keoghan in it?
Yeah, he's in it for a hot second, and Jared Harris. And
Jared Harris is in it.
Yeah, the old Skarsgård.
Oh,
Stellan.
Yeah, the one from Thor.
Yeah, that's right. The doctor, scientist guy, or whatever. That's right. Yep, it's incredible. The showrunner was Craig Mazin, who did Last of Us.
Synergy.
Yeah, that's right. Chernobyl's an incredibly haunting, horrifying series.
I've heard, but I want to watch it. It's just not something I've ever I seem to get to. Aaron's been spending a lot of time looking at the leaked Daredevil shots. Yeah, I don't want to, but they're all over my timeline. They're not spoilery anyway, and I just love looking at that suit. It's gorgeous. Please throw Moon Knight with them. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe's also watching a Nickelodeon TMNT series. That series is magic.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, that was really, really good. I watched, I think, the first 2 seasons, and I thought it was fantastic. It was a really cool universe they built there.
There's a big update in Fortnite that has to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that me and my son have been enjoying.
Yes, I want to buy all of them, but then I don't play it enough. So.
Yeah.
Bill says, been a week of rewatching Universal Monster films and The Batman. Now that is also a solid week.
Jeez, everybody's having a pretty good week over here.
Hey, Teddy. Just want to say hi, bub. Chris doesn't have yellow and blue on. No, I don't. But neither did the trailer. We'll get
I was going to say, no one else did either.
Yeah. So those would be my watches. I recommend Lisa Frankenstein. Anyone but you, your miles may vary. That's up to you.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to watch. I'll still watch it when it's out. But I
think they're they're putting out an unrated one on Wednesday. I don't know if it's going to do any better.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it needs an unrated version. I assume it's going to be the spider scene, just more of Glenn Powell's ass. I don't know.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
I mean, that's just my guess. What did you watch?
I didn't watch a single thing this week because I've been playing The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
I downloaded it a couple weeks ago, whenever it came out, and then I've been putting it off. Watched the Grounded documentary that came out last week, I think it was. Didn't want to watch it after seeing, or didn't want to play after watching that. But then more and more casting stuff kept coming out, specifically the Catherine O'Hara casting came out, and I'm like, well, who the hell is she supposed to be playing? So I wanted to make sure I, again, knew everything as much as possible about the game. So I'm like, okay, I have to play. I'm going to play and get it over with. More and more stuff's going to keep coming out about the show as we get ready for filming, which is soon, I think. Soon, I hope, ish. March, something. So I've been playing every day. I took a break 2 nights ago, and watched the Food Network instead. But so I'm playing the remaster, which it's tough. I played the part 2 on the PS4 before. I don't see a lot of differences in the upgrade from the PS4 to the PS5. Obviously, it plays the same way. You have the DualSense controller, which is a little bit different. I haven't done any of the extra stuff because I'm just making my way through the story, so I haven't done the no return or the director's commentary on some of the scenes. But one of the things, so I hit probably about the halfway point of the game now, and at this point, it takes a turn in the story as it's going, and I'm at the point in the game now where it's painful to play in a certain way. Okay. If you know what's coming and you know how the story is going to unfold, it gets to be draining a bit, seeing what you have to do and where the story goes and what happens to the characters and this, that, and the other thing. So I felt it very much just before the halfway point of the game, when it does, right before it does a thing. And it's just starting to weigh on me, but like I knew it was going to. Which is why I kept putting it off for so long. But again, the game is so well made. It's a lot of fun to play gameplay wise. The action is still very good. The sneaking around and the hiding is great. But then like the gunplay is so much fun. The characters are incredible. The acting is incredible. Everything's so great about the game. So just in a roundabout way, it's just been a pain to play for the last week or so. The Last of Us Part 2. And then the Food Network mixed in there.
I think. Okay. Then we get it this week. We'll see.
Oh yeah, nice. You don't have any time.
I was gonna start Midnight Suns, but I thought about it. Once I start this is a 50-hour game, roughly. Or actually, I think it's more when you have the DLC with it, which I do. So I was thinking, once I start this, that's it.
Yep.
So I might as well. I think I'm gonna get the other thing first.
Nice. And watches. I tried to watch right before the show. I tried to watch not the latest episode of True Detective, but the one that came last week. I guess they released the one from today early.
Yeah, I guess they want right. They didn't want to compete with Super Bowl, so I didn't get to watch it though myself.
Yeah, so I haven't watched that one, and I've got about 8 minutes left of the 4th episode, I think.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, it's almost what it feels like.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about our reads and our watches, Ian in the comments asked us if we had talked about True Detective yet, and I mentioned that I don't think this is a series or a show that you talk about weekly. I think that would be very hard. Obviously, the mystery of the story is very mysterious and hard to understand, and kind of changes and slows down and speeds up as each episode comes and goes. So it's going to be interesting, I think, to talk about this one when it's all over, after the mystery has been revealed, after we find out what happens to a lot of characters. Because right now, and I think Chris, you mentioned it, you don't enjoy the two leads very much at all.
I don't.
And one of the things that I'm finding, trying to find is something to hold on, something to grasp, something to care about, something to, I don't know, something to feel about, other than just a lot of sad people in general. Like everyone's sad, everyone's angry, everyone's got a problem. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds by the end of it. But I'm going to keep watching it. Just I don't know if I'm enjoying a lot of it right now.
It's a weird thing not to like the leads of a show, though. But I like everything else about it, just not them. I don't know. Aaron says there's something missing. Yeah, maybe there is, but I don't know what that would be because I haven't seen the other seasons.
Right. So I think that's all our reads and our watches, Chris. Let's talk about some Super Bowl trailers,
yes,
if you so choose.
I do.
Have you? So you haven't seen the Apes one? Did you see Wicked? Did you see Twisters? You saw Deadpool 3?
I've only seen Twisters. So far.
Oh, okay.
I kind of didn't realize Wicked was on there until right before we got this going.
Mm-hmm.
But Twisters looks great. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. Because I didn't know what to expect from this. I figured, okay, the first one was kind of lightning in a bottle. It's a movie about tornadoes. How much could you really do with it? But this looks really fun.
Yeah, the action looks pretty big. It's almost like I don't know if you remember from a while ago, like a long time ago, when they released that Force Awakens trailer, and then right afterwards there was kind of a joke, George Lucas Force Awakens trailer, like a special edition where they add like 100 more stormtroopers and 600 other TIE fighters. That's what Twisters feels like. It's just like there's a twister and there's a tornado and there's two tornadoes and
There's
let's
a
just
twin.
throw every tornado we can see onto the screen.
There's like a jet at the end. What was that?
I don't know. Like a windmill fell down and it's spinning around. Like it's utterly ridiculous. And this will be the second time we're talking about Glenn Powell. A lot of the first Twister, I think, was because Bill Paxton is so cool. And I wonder if Glenn, that's exactly right, Aaron, how Glenn Powell's going to, elevate, obviously, a movie about chasing after tornadoes. It looks like he's playing that cocky character that he's going to be playing for the rest of his life. I think.
I think that's just his thing. Kind of like that's kind of like Tom Cruise.
Exactly right.
I think he's like new Tom Cruise.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's going to be dumb fun, which is fine with me. I like watching. I think a lot of people are from our age group love Twister from back in the day for lots of reasons.
I think so.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Yeah.
I think Twister is just one of those movies where it's very silly, but it's kind of intense, and that makes up for it, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I was pretty impressed by the trailer. It doesn't show the entire cast. Like, David Cornsweet is in it. I thought he was a big character, but he's only like one shot in the background.
So well, that's interesting too. Character. Yeah, because you think, I forget when this movie comes out, in the summer, I think.
Yeah, July 19th. That's it.
So by that point, moviegoers will probably have seen Cornsweet in some kind of Superman suit. So you think that they probably want to build off of that marketing a little bit by at least showing that he's in the movie.
There's also, I think this is considered a teaser, but after this trailer, I've seen all I needed to. I know.
Yeah, what else is there?
I maybe I didn't even need a trailer for this. I don't know, but I don't need another trailer. Was what I was going to say. I'm good with the one. Mm-hmm. I see what I need. Glenn Powell's in it. That's cool. I see they have the machine with the metal balls again. That's cool. We got twin tornadoes. But what's funny to me is that most of the people who will watch this movie, this comment's not coming out for some reason. No, most people that will watch this movie don't live where tornadoes are, whereas I do. So it was like, that's amazing. Like, no, it's not. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of a different thing when you live near them and you have to deal with the possibility of them.
Yeah, sure. You're not driving a truck with an anchor built into it to drive right in the middle of a tornado, right? You're not a Glenn Powell character.
Yeah, no, it's different. I'm not
chasing tornadoes.
No, I'd like to be Glenn Powell though. He's pretty cool. I think Zeddy would enjoy this conversation because he also loves Glenn Powell.
He does love Glenn Powell, yeah. I like Glenn Powell. I think he's.
But I think I might too.
Fun guy.
Yeah, he's cool. What do you think of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes trailer? Because I know you're much more excited for that than I am.
Yeah, so I love the Ape series. I love all the old ones. I love the newer ones, obviously. We got a trailer or a teaser. I felt like a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago,
where it just kind of showed. I've been seeing it with movies in theaters, so
okay.
It's longer.
Oh, really? That's okay. So a while ago, we got that little teaser trailer. This is basically straight up a story trailer. Lets us know basically where it is in kind of the timeline. The humans they're in. We know about the apes. They're talking differently than when we've seen them last in War for Planet of the Apes. It looks the same as the other ones, like visually, but the story is not something that I deadly need to see again. The story is built out in the trailer that a certain part of the apes, there's this, king ape, he's got the crown and all this kind of stuff, and they're starting to enslave the human race. And then there's this other ape who thinks that's a bad thing and wants to overthrow the government, whatever the king ape or whatever, and then let the humans go. We've seen most of this already. One of the best things that I love about the old trilogy or the old movies is the chances that they took. Like in the second movie, there are mutants that have telekinesis powers and can read minds and have overgrown heads, and the entire world gets blown up, and then apes escape from the Planet of the Apes, and then that's the third movie where there's apes walking around Los Angeles and San Francisco. Like,
I've not seen these movies, so my mind is being blown. I didn't know that was what it was. What? I thought they were just like the Reeves ones, but old. Is that not what they are?
So the first one's with Charlton Heston, right? Where he's an astronaut who lands on the Planet of the Apes, and then the end he's, damn you all to hell.
Right.
And then in the second movie, more humans show up, but instead of handling or the conflict being all apes, underneath the cities are mutants who have mutated and de-evolved over years.
Mutant apes or mutant people?
No, humans.
Okay.
Yeah. So then they have a doomsday device, and then apes come and everything, and then the world blows up. But as the world is blowing up, a female ape, a male ape escape from the Planet of the Apes on a spaceship, and they go back in time to 1970s San Francisco, and they're walking and talking, and then their son is Caesar, and then Caesar starts their timeline of the Planet of the Apes. So in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, it's basically at the time just before the first movie takes place, when Charlton Heston and his astronaut buddies land, and the humans are enslaved and the apes rule the world. It's a planet of apes. And so the kingdom, the humans are enslaved. There's a king ape who's running the show, but there's this other ape that's not named that looks awfully like Caesar, but Caesar's not alive, and it takes place many years after War of the Planet of the Apes. Just more of the humans enslaved, apes fighting apes. Just, I needed something more, like that second ever Planet of the Apes movie with mutants and freaks and and mutant powers of some kind, and something a little bit different. Whereas basically all of the newer apes movies are all the same kind of movie. Apes fighting apes, apes fighting humans, humans fighting apes. So it looks great. I'm going to give it a chance, but story-wise, it just wasn't something that I don't know if I wanted or needed as a very big apes fan.
I already feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. You don't even have to think about the Charlton Heston ones, but I just brought it up because I like that they took chances.
I kind of want to see the one where they're walking in San Francisco, though.
I'm surprised you haven't.
Among people.
Yeah. What's
my introduction?
Zira and Cornelius. Yeah.
My introduction to Planet of the Apes was the Burton one, and I watched that, and it has. Well, the first strike against it is it has Mark Wahlberg, which, as most people know, I don't like Mark Wahlberg. So that was one strike, and then I just didn't like the movie itself, so I never really dug into the Planet of the Apes. But then when the one with James Franco came out, I was like, this is amazing. And the two Reeves ones I like a lot, but I never really thought to go back to the past. Maybe I don't need to.
The first one is really great. The second one, obviously, it's out there, and the quality starts to drop from there. But yeah, the first one's a really great movie. The music is incredible. Cinematography is really good. Like, even some of the prosthetics and costumes of those walking and talking apes is pretty good. And it's got Charlton Heston just being loud and boisterous. Charlton Heston, damn dirty apes, and all that good stuff.
We'll see. I'll see the new movie. That's a guarantee. Mutants and people will see about that, but guaranteed I'm seeing the Kingdom. I'm in for that.
Yeah. I want to look up who's doing the voices and the character work for the new apes, because I couldn't really tell um, through the trailer. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
Cool. Did you see the Wicked trailer?
Yeah, so I watched the Wicked trailer, and I thought it looked quite bad visually.
Okay.
I thought I think, like, I don't know much about the story. I just assumed, I think Wicked is just the Wizard of Oz, but from the Wicked Witch's point of view.
From what I understand, yes.
I like that. I like that idea, and I like the actress Cynthia Erivo. I think their name is. They were in The Outsider on HBO with Jason Bateman a couple years ago. I really dig them. But visually, the movie looks very cheap for a very expensive movie. I don't know. It could be just a trailer. It could be whatever, but just didn't do it for me. But I like the idea of the movie, so I think it'll probably be something. I think my wife is a big fan as well. I think she had read the book or she saw the play when she was in high school, if I remember correctly. So
the play is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very large deal.
Yeah.
I guess that leaves the final one.
And that leaves Deadpool and Wolverine. Not Deadpool 3, but Deadpool and Wolverine, which apparently, I'm not sure if you know this, Chris, but Wolverine is in this movie.
Is he?
I saw the trailer. I'm not a fan of the Deadpool movies. I'm not a fan of Ryan Reynolds in general. So, Chris, I'll leave it up to you, and we'll see. I'll take it whichever way you want to take it.
Well, I think I did this to myself. I was really, really hyped up for the trailer because I thought we're going to see Wolverine. Like, they have to show him. We're going to see him. It's the money shot. You got to show him in the suit. That's what everybody wants. They're going to show it. Mm-hmm. And then they didn't. They did not. So automatically I am disappointed. Really disappointed. But if I put that aside, the trailer looks pretty fun. It looks like a cool Deadpool movie. There's some interesting MCU stuff going on. The TVA is there, which I'm pretty excited about. You know, I think that's cool. And like, it makes sense that they would be there if he's in the MCU now because of the ending of Deadpool 2. So that's like a natural progression. I like the way he's seemingly being included. We do get a couple of really cool shots. There was one shot I lost my shit at. When you see Patch, well, you don't even see him fully, you see the back of him. And if you know him, you know him. And like, that's Patch. Like the kids say, if you know, you know. And I lost it when I saw Patch. I was like, that's Patch. That was cool. Seeing Pyro was cool. The action was neat. It looks like a Deadpool movie, which is not what I expected. I expected it to look more like, well, also like Aaron says, it's just a teaser, and that's true. But like Ryan Reynolds described wanting a movie with Deadpool Wolverine before, and he said he wanted it to be like a buddy road trip film. Right. So I think that's what I had in my head that the trailer was going to showcase, and it doesn't. But that's fine. I'm still excited for the movie. Return of the King, July 2024. Trust me. But just the trailer was disappointing to me for some things.
Yeah,
Shadow. Why'd you guys do the Shadow?
I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but I was damn surprised that they didn't show Hugh in the suit. Like, we've seen the behind the scenes shots. You've been in like joke videos on your Twitter and Instagram, the two of you idiots sitting beside each other joking about the movie. There's no surprise here that he's in the movie, so what's the harm? And I think that lessened the, maybe it didn't, but because I think it's everywhere. But for me, I would have been a lot more excited if I heard him talk. If he said, something like, "Fuck you, Deadpool," or something like that. Like just to see a shadow of him and just his claw, the claws come out. Like that just didn't do enough for me to care overly. I agree with you about the Patch shot. I think that was probably the best shot in the whole trailer. Kind of the zoom in on his back, sitting. He looks like he's at a poker table or something. Yeah.
They're magical, probably, and that's even cooler. We're seeing magic more.
Yeah, so that was my favorite spot. Like, I don't I don't care about the Deadpool character, and I don't like the jokes, and I don't think they're funny, and that's totally fine. But just damn surprised there was no Wolverine in this trailer after everything that we've already seen. But
Well, I
like
think
it says,
I think Aaron is actually onto something. The next will be a Wolverine trailer because it's called Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what I'm
yeah.
thinking. That the next one will be from his point of view somehow,
Mm.
or just more
Hmm.
of him. Because maybe it still is that buddy travel movie. It might be
Hmm.
split 50-50 with them. We don't know. But him being in the title, I think, makes a difference. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
You
the
also
title
get,
is probably one of the best things of the whole
yes.
trailer. Like just the title, like it's perfect marketing. It keeps it very simple. This is a movie about Deadpool and has Wolverine in it, and eventually you're going to see that this is a Hugh Jackman Wolverine who you all loved from before. So remember him? Come see this one. So I think it's
Right.
perfect marketing wise.
We also get a glimpse of the villain, but from behind.
Yeah. What is that? It looks like freaking Patrick Stewart with elf ears.
It's Cassandra Nova. Pretty close. Um, I don't. I'm not really that familiar with Cassandra Nova.
Oh, okay.
And also that's not who I thought she was going to be playing. I thought she was going to be playing a whole different character. But
Hmm.
Aaron says poker table with Gambit. If it's the what is his name? What's that guy's name?
Taylor.
It's like movie Kryptonite. Taylor Kitsch. Is that it?
Yeah, Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one from Wolverine, right?
I hope it's not him. He is cinematic Kryptonite. But overall, I do like the trailer. I'm just disappointed at the lack of Wolverine, but I did that to myself. Also, the poster is really neat. Have you seen the poster?
With the locket, the heart locket.
Yeah, the best friends locket.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
pretty cool. I like how it also Wolverine's side is the mask, which furthers we're getting the mask, of course, and it has white eyes. Pretty excited.
Hmm.
Yes,
Oh,
I
I
think
think
if
it's
Gambit's in it, it's Channing Tatum.
you're right. The movie that never was.
Yes, if Gambit is in this somewhere, it's Channing Tatum's Gambit.
Hmm. Well, like just
Full
like
on
Deadpool
Cajun
had all
accent.
those stupid, yeah, Deadpool 2 had all those weird characters when they're putting the team
Mhm.
together or whatever. I feel like that's going to be like
Yeah.
there's just going to be like a shot that's like this, like, boom, 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 boom. There's just going to be a character there and a character there and a character there and a character there. Like it's going to go beyond everything that that we've probably seen on TV for or on movies for cameos and stuff like that. So I wouldn't put anything past them. Like I wouldn't put having two Gambits sitting beside each other, like having Tatum and Kitsch sitting beside
No,
each other. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't put anything past them right now.
that could be something. Another thing about it, and this is, I think, my biggest takeaway, and it's a positive, a big positive. We know nothing about what this movie is.
Yeah.
Because all, like, everybody kept saying, we know the whole movie because we've seen the set leaks. No, we've seen one scene they took months to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what this film is. This made it very clear with the TVA stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is Deadpool the
So
big MCU reset? I don't think so.
I was thinking about the TVA stuff and how frustrating that is for again me as a Marvel non-watcher of things mostly. Like I know what the TVA is slightly from Loki season 1. I have no idea what happened in season 2. Like and I was also happy that the actor or the character from the TVA wasn't Owen Wilson. It was Matthew McFadden from Succession.
Well, I think
So
Owen
like
Wilson's in it, so.
yeah, I'm sure he probably is. But one of the things that would have annoyed me even more was seeing a character from Loki in the trailer. So like I hope they do explain what this TVA thing is and why they exist and all of that kind of stuff. Because much like if you hadn't seen WandaVision and watching Multiverse of Madness, you have no idea what's happening. I'm hoping that not to be the case for Deadpool 3 because I really don't know what's happening with the TVA and Loki and all the time resetting stuff and all that kind of jazz. So we shall see. But
Well, I think in the case of this, it helps that Wade Wilson talks to the audience, so
right,
you can get a lot done with him just looking at the camera. Oh, these are the bad guys, or explaining what they are. Which I mean, we see that early on in the trailer when he makes the Disney joke, which I was not expecting.
Yeah.
So, I think that we'll be okay with it. I think it'll be very user friendly, if you will. This
Well,
thing
as
shows some
confusing as
Wolverine.
it could get. So yeah, just show them, just a little bit.
Just show me the side profile of the cowl, man. That's all I want.
I was surprised there wasn't more trailers though. Like that was really only 4: Wicked, Twisters, Apes, and Deadpool 3. I thought there was supposed to be more.
There was a Despicable Me trailer, but that was really early.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what else there was. I think the spots are so expensive, studios don't want to do it, and they could just put it online.
Big time expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the Dunkin' Donuts commercial with Ben Affleck?
No, I saw the pre-trailer for that because it actually had like a trailer for the commercial, which is unheard of.
Yeah, trailer for a commercial.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for the commercial. I thought the trailer was funny. I didn't. I thought that was the commercial. I didn't realize that was the prequel, if you will.
It goes all out, and Affleck really lays it really out there, most out there that I've seen him.
Nice. I think he's rapping, right?
Yeah, he's dancing and rapping in very weird clothing. And Tom Brady is there,
Okay.
Matt Damon is there, J-Lo is there. So it's Ben Affleck like you've never seen him before.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Which is fun.
Yes. I like Ben Affleck, so whenever he does something interesting, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. I think that's all I got, Chris. Anything else you want to chat about?
No. We'll just wait for more Deadpool stuff, I guess. I will say this was a pretty cool media week for me because we also had the official trailer for season 2 of Interview with the Vampire, and we finally have a date, May 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty excited for that. And I will be in trouble.
What'd you think about it?
I thought it was really cool. It's a bunch of quick glimpses of things, but it's a lot of cool things packed in there. There's some stuff I picked up on that I'm probably wrong about, considering they're doing whatever they want. But I like the hints of things. Some of the pictures that were released were nice, like Lestat walking with the crucifix. I don't know what that is, but it's cool looking. Yeah, I like that one a lot. I'm very excited about it.
What do you think about the little bits we saw of the new Claudia?
Different. This Claudia has a different presence.
Yeah, like voice, tone, everything's kind of.
The other one was more childlike in appearance and I think demeanor. Even when she was older, you still kind of bought it. This is much like an older lady, but I think she's the same age as Bailey.
Yeah. So she feels like she's 20 years older for some reason. I don't know.
I think that's good though, because the character should be aged.
Yeah.
But it's going to take some adjusting to it's different.
Yeah.
But so far, I don't mind her. She's just different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still upset about Avatar. Damn you, James Cameron.
Yeah, he stole her for the rest of her life. God, he was talking about making Avatar 6 and 7 earlier this week. Like, Jesus, man, give these actors a break.
Who wants to see that?
I don't know. Who wants to act in a movie like that?
I mean, I'm sure they do it. I think get paid well.
Making millions of dollars for sure.
Yeah, people like it. I'm just not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I'll watch the second one.
Yeah, eventually you may. You gotta watch Killers of the Flower Moon first. You gotta watch that long one first.
That's tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm seeing. I'm supposed to go see Dune in IMAX again, and then when I come home, I figure I'll watch that.
Nice.
Tomorrow's movie day. We'll see if it happens that way, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it never does.
No. I'll watch one of them, most likely. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Thanks. All right. Well, where can people find you, and where can people hear more of your thoughts on Supergirl Women of Tomorrow?
It's interesting. You guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. You can also follow the podcast I do with my buddies Phil Walsh and Anthony Caruso over at DC Unlimited Pod on Twitter. And as always, I would love it if you guys would follow this show at G of the Geeks. Emmet is better with the rest of the plug, so he will take over.
You can follow me on Twitter at EmmettDavis7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Go to anywhere and type in Gathering of the Geeks, and you'll find lots of stuff from us. So thanks to Aaron, Phil, Zeddy for popping in. Joe, thanks for checking us out on this Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the game, everybody. Looks like there's 3.5 minutes left. Enjoy the finality of that game. In saying all that, for Chris, and I am Emmett, and we gather on Sundays.
Go football.